Hello, and welcome to the School Board Report. I'm your host, Konner Hines, and today I have with me School Board President John Landers. Mr. Landers, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Connor. I think at first to start, we would just like to talk a little bit about a sudden and tragic loss in our district. Anastasia Weaver, who's was a 6-year-old student at Robinwood in kindergarten, passed away suddenly last week. Our thoughts and our condolences are with her entire family, as well as with our family at Robinwood Lane. I think it's a very sad and tragic situation. I know the Robinwood family has started, I believe, what's called the Sunshine Fund to help raise some funds for the family. And I think there's information on our website if individuals are looking to contribute. And I think I just also want to add, I believe some students from Poland local schools sent some notes to our Robinwood students in mind of this tragedy. So we're very thankful for that from Poland. And I know the family at Robinwood is as well.
Yes, Mr. Landers, it's a very, very sad time for the district, and we will be sure to keep the Weaver family and our wonderful teachers and staff at Robinwood in our prayers. But we are here to talk about the recent January board meeting, something very big for Center Intermediate School and what was approved. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. So, really the first step when we were able to turn the permanent improvement levy into a continuing levy, gives us some financial flexibility in terms of our options with Center. We know it's an aging building. Do we renovate? Do we rebuild? And what the ELP is, I believe it's the Expedited Local Partnership Program. It's provided by the Ohio School Facilities Commission, and they'll really come in and do a deep dive on the age of the building, the size of the building, how many students are in there, how many classrooms are in there, to gather data and really give us an assessment of what would it potentially cost to renovate that building, what would it cost to rebuild that building. So that's a starting point. Doesn't mean any decision is imminent, but it will give us some data and give us some information that's really the first step in the process to understand what that building needs and how we could potentially go forward in the future. And I think it's important to remember, that it's at no cost to the district. It's provided to the state and just really gives us some data. So, we approved that in our January board meeting, and we're looking forward to seeing what information comes out to that. And, whether it's through district social media or mechanisms like this or other ways, we intend and will, communicate to the broader community about what's going on. We don't want to do this in a vacuum.
Yes, and furthermore, the school board recognized students as well as an administrator for the statewide awards. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. I think Mr. Saxton said it in his superintendent report that you did a week or two ago, was just the recognition part of the meeting is, I think, just so wonderful. We have so many wonderful students, teachers, and principals in this district, and getting the opportunity to interact with them a little more and seeing the wonderful things they do is just awesome. And it reminds us of, why we do what we do. So we had two Martin Luther King Jr. essay winners, which is a contest from across the state of Ohio, and there's one winner per grade level. So to have two winners from Boardman schools, I think is really awesome and amazing. So Aiden O'Brien, who's an 11th grader here at the high school, won, as well did Meredith Wakefield, who's a 6th grader at Center Intermediate School. So they'll head down to Columbus later in the month on February 23rd, I believe, for a ceremony where they'll have the opportunity to kind of read the work that they completed. And Bart Smith, who's a Boardman alum and a principal at Glenwood, won a Leadership in Science Education Award from SECO, which is the Science Education Council of Ohio. And Bart and really that team at Glenwood, especially in the science curriculum and really across everything, has been wonderful. But they've raised probably around $100,000 in grant money for things like outdoor classrooms, recycled gardens, hydroponics, water analysis, and a composter. I know we had the opportunity towards the end of last school year to see some presentations and projects from 7th and 8th graders that they're doing, related to water retention or the stormwater park that the community is doing. So it's just really amazing, and I think really hands-on, tangible learning for the students at Glenwood to really get them interested in science.
Yes, and I noticed that there were several donations listed for the board agenda in January, at least two or to help pay off the school lunch debt.
Sure. So, I think, and I kind of echo this as well as I've gotten a little older. It's, I think, just a wonderful way to pay it forward. So we received several donations from, and I think we're calling them lunch angels, to help just pay off debt that could accumulate from students. So it's not something that the families have to deal with. because there are some families that don't qualify for the federal free lunch program, but are struggling to pay for lunch. And those, I think, donations are truly appreciative, and we're very thankful of those community members, or people from, I think, across the country that may have just had ties to Boardman that contributed.
Yeah. And what more information can you give us about the board meeting today?
Sure. Part of every board meeting we have is, we have to approve hires and, resignations from the district. So we did hire a new intervention specialist at Center Intermediate. Her name's Tori Capizzolo, who will work with 4th and 6th graders at Center. And, not sure if many folks know that, but when the high school, gets a new scholarship that we have to award at the Honors Assembly, really the first step once it's ready is that the board has to approve it, just because it will create a new account for that money to go to. So we created a new one for the Richard Haar Memorial Scholarship. It's a $1,000 scholarship in his honor. He was a BHS graduate from 1971, and he passed away last year. And I think now is just a good time. I know it's just the beginning of February, but May and June, especially for the seniors, is going to come quick. Remember our Honors Assembly. Remember the scholarship applications that are available, whether it be on Google Classroom or the guidance office. I think there's a lot of wonderful scholarship opportunities from local people. Maybe I'll promote mine a little bit, that I offer every year, but we really encourage our seniors and the, families of seniors, parents to check what's available in the guidance office and keep an eye on those deadlines. So.
Yes, and thank you. And if there's any Boardman students, please ask Mrs. Marlin how you can get more information about our scholarships. So I was a part of a big surprise for the school board in honor of School Appreciation Month. The cast of the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee had some fun singing for you. Were you surprised, or?
Well, I was definitely surprised because, I think, Konner, you realized that maybe I'm a little bit of a planner, so, I noticed a group of students walking up to our meeting, and I'm like, not quite sure what's going on, what's on the agenda. So, but, very, I think, thankful and appreciative of you and your fellow castmates, taking the time to sing for us. We know, today's Tuesday, February 2nd. Your show's coming up this weekend, so you're right in the crunch of rehearsals. And so just, very, very thankful for all of that. And it really takes a community and a village to have a successful school district. We are part of it, but it's because of people like you, our students, our teachers, our staff members across the district, our bus drivers, parents, guardians, family members that really allow this school system to be great. Because I think it's an old adage, but it takes a village. So we're just very thankful. And I think I'm just really looking forward to the show. I have tickets for Saturday evening, but shows are on Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 2:30. And I think it's always a joy to watch a great show in our Performing Arts Center.
Yes, and back to what you were saying about taking a village, we really want to thank you for all the work and all of the school board does to make this school run as well as it does. But yes.
And I think just, Konner, one more thing, if I could just, before we kind of close, I know you had the opportunity, I think maybe a week or two ago at this point, to really take part in that wonderful jazz concert, with some, touring musicians or musicians who came in for the show. Can you talk a little bit just about your experience? I think that had to be a blast.
Yes, it was really like playing with a legend, and it was so enlightening to what music is, and it really made me feel such a great appreciation for all the school events and partakes that I can have and that we're exposed to. So thank you once again for letting us all experience that. It was a true blast.
Great. Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun to watch. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Landers, for joining us today. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
Sure. Hopefully many, if not all, community members received this in the mail in the last few days, but we did want to highlight some future upcoming events. We want to remind everyone about kindergarten registration, which is a two-step process. Step one, filling out our online registration application. There's a link on our website. And then step two, also completing our in-person registration, which will be on Thursday, March 9th. There's details on our website about that, times and locations and the type of documentation that's needed. And I think also next week, I can't believe it's already February, but our BHS orientation and open house for incoming ninth graders or first year students in the high school is on Wednesday, February 8th from 6 to 8 p.m. It will start in the BPAC, and if I remember correctly, I believe a lot of our student activities have tables kind of in the main hallway to let students know all the great activities we have going on, whether they be academic like Quiz Bowl, athletic, like our different sports teams, or the arts, for things like BSTN, as well as our teachers kind of presenting on different areas of the curriculum. So I know I'll be there next Wednesday, and we hope to see all of you there as well.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Mr. Linders. There is a lot of exciting new information coming your way, Boardman. I'm your host, Konner Hines for BSTN, and have a great day.